As Maverick would say, it's time for the big one, Goose. We got the main slate coming up on Saturday. That's where our big money tournaments are going to be. It's nice to have these appetizers to kind of play around a little bit, but we're getting into the meat here. So let's start off with DraftKings player pool. And I think I'm avoiding Arch on DK, 9K. I think that's going to be a little bit too much of a price tag. I'm just going to hit some of these high priced options. Drew Aller, Gunnar Stockton, you're going to notice no Penn State or Georgia for me. I think it's too risky with given the disparity in the spreads in these games. You get 1-2 defensive touchdowns. I personally think Zachariah Branch probably returns a punt or a kick against Marshall for a touchdown, taking an offensive opportunity away. And so those guys are priced up in a situation where they aren't going to get enough opportunities. I think somebody's going to score touchdowns, right? It could easily be Drew Aller throwing for 3 touchdowns. Maybe they want to show that off. Maybe it's, Katron Allen gets 2 touchdowns and Nick Singleton gets 2 touchdowns. But they're priced up in a way that is what you're going to need so much to get there. So I'm going to try to stay with these more competitive guys or lower priced options that I think get in blowouts. So player pool for me at the quarterback position. Top spin for me, Fernando Mendoza. Now you're going to say that's a blowout. Yes, it is. But I think, and I've bet Indiana to cover that spread. Signetti, I know him very well from his time at James Madison and Elon. He likes to blow teams out and prove a point. He's played Old Dominion plenty in his time at James Madison. I think they blow that team out of the water and put some style points out given the end of the season last year. Mendoza, probably an upgrade on Curtis Rourke, and he still brings back Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper. And we'll get to the other positions in a minute on Indiana, but they are going to be a feature play for me. Fernando Mendoza, I like at 8,200. I will have some stacks of him for sure. Ty Simpson, Alabama. I think you can buy into the DeBoer system. I would take a few dart throws there, thinking that I think they can throw up, the north of 30, 31 points-ish on Florida State. So I don't mind a stack there. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. If you want to go there, he's going to stay in my pool. Caden Veltkamp at 7,600 is in play. They're a dog, like a decent-sized dog at almost 15 points. But that's an offense with Zach Kitley that they're going to chuck the heck out of the ball. And Veltkamp's a little bit mobile. So he has the opportunity to be able to do that. He's another dart throw option, not a core play for me. Looking elsewhere, Braylon Braxton from Southern Miss. I think that game ends up going over that total. I like the play. Braxton's a good runner. He's a GPP play. The other quarterback in that game is going to be better. I'll touch on him in a second. But I like Braylon Braxton in that game. I think there's options to play him at 7,500. One of my core, I'll call it core 3 at the moment, but really the top 2 plays for me. Blake Shapen, Mississippi State, 6,800. He played really well the first 4 games of the year last year before getting injured. 36.5 team total. I like that total. It's one of the higher ones on the slate in a more competitive game. I think that game can shoot out. So Blake Shapen comes in. He's probably my top floor option with a ceiling on the slate, but I have one other play that I prefer, which you guys know because if you saw the first look, it's very evident. So Blake Shapen, Mississippi State is probably my top option. He's got a really nice projection, nearly 3.5x his price tag here on a point per dollar basis. So he's going to feature in a lot of lineups for me. Coming in at 6,600, this would be a core play for me if I know that he's starting. So it's Malik Washington. He's probable. He's been in a little bit of a battle here with Justin Martin. True freshman quarterback. It would be a concern, but 4-star, very talented. Mike Loxley's going to have to play him a good bit if he wants to save his job. It could be very similar to that DJ Lagway situation from last year. He's mobile. He can throw, extremely talented, strong projection at 6,600. This is a very enticing price tag with a 37-point team total. And FAU's not going to put up much of a fight on the defensive side of the ball, but they're going to be able to push the score on the offensive side. So I really like getting to Malik Washington if it is announced that he is the starter and a full go. If not, and there's no announcement, I would say take shots. If there's no announcement, you could take shots, but I would limit my exposure there. 6K, Steve Angeli. I think he's in the pool, but I only want, it's like a headshot for me, right? I'm going to take one, maybe two shots at him. Not very many. He's not mobile. He can chuck it around. We saw him come in, throw the ball pretty well for Notre Dame. I just don't love the team total of Syracuse at 18. They're playing Tennessee. I think Tennessee's got a decided advantage on the defensive side against them. I think he can take shots, but they're going to throw the ball a ton. So there's an option. There's outs here. If he could throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, he's not going to scramble any. So there's probably a little bit of a negative in the run game there. So you'll lose a couple points. I'm not confident in it. I don't know that I end up playing any, but I'll keep him in my pool for right now. It's just going to be a decision I'm going to have to make at a later time. Top core play for me. I don't know how I don't end up with a ton of it. Ryan Brown from Purdue at 5,200. Is it a sketchy situation? Probably. I think you could say that. 34-point team total playing Ball State. Purdue's not a great team, but he's got legs. He can run. All these guys have legs, but this guy actually uses them. He had that monster game against Illinois last year. I can't get that out of my head. He's got a near 4x, 4 points per dollar projection. How do you not save the salary with Ryan Brown? I don't know that you need to, but I think you can. I think that's our value play of the quarterback position, and that's where you need to go. I don't know who you would pair him with necessarily. Probably Nitro Tuggle. They got some decent talent there, but I don't think I would pair them with anybody. I think you just ride Ryan Brown and go for it. Value options, if you really want to dig deep, Preston Stone at 4,900, I think's okay. He doesn't need a lot to get there. Not my favorite, but if you're forced to take a shot, that's fine. Evan Simon of Temple, similarly, we still don't kind of know what the Giovanni McCoy, Evan Simon situation is really going to turn out to be, but he's 4,600. Maybe you could take shots there. He's a running quarterback, but I really would probably end my pool and not go past lower than Ryan Brown and take shots plenty on Ryan Brown. Running back wise, I like Nolan Ray as my top option from Maryland. So if you're going to pay up at running back, Nolan Ray is my guy. I think he ends up being the leading rusher on this team, leads the backfield. With the freshman quarterback, he should get extra carries. So I like that play a good bit. I prefer it over Quintravian Wisner. Like I said, I'm avoiding this top tier just for the simple fact that they could get 3 touchdowns or they could get just dead in the water in a bad, blowout situation. Wisner, I don't mind. I think they're going to be very slow getting CJ Baxter back in there. He catches the ball well. Ohio State's very good on the back end. They had so much turnover on the front 4 that I think you could see Texas lean into the run game a little bit more on the road early in this game. So I think Wisner's a decent play there. I'm not going to go there a ton, but I'll play a lot more Nolan Ray. I'm avoiding the Ohio State backs. Let's go with Devon Booth from Mississippi State, returning starter. I like him. If you're not going to play Blake Shapen, I think you get some Devon Booth shares, no problem. He's a good player. I know Fluff is there, Fluff Bothwell from South Alabama. I like him, but I think he's going to take a little bit of time to acclimate. We've kind of seen these G5 to P4 transfers are taking a little time to acclimate and not necessarily going in right away. Rocco Griffin at 6K. I don't mind. Or no, Rocco's at 55. Yeah, so Rocco Griffin at 5,500. I don't mind that play from the UMass side. Projects fairly well. He's going to get the volume. Not the biggest fan of him, so I'll get a little bit, but he's in the pool, just not necessarily my favorite. I would prefer to go down to Dante Dowdle, all talent. He just hasn't necessarily had a season where he's put it all together. But Kentucky's going to have to run the football here. I do not trust Zach Calzada to be chucking it around the yard. Toledo's good enough that they'll be in the game. And I also think with that Kentucky team, you can take shots on Seth McGowan at 3,700. That's one of the 2 punt options I don't mind. So McGowan comes over from New Mexico State, explosive player. One of my favorites at New Mexico State, but I just think you can take shots there. Maccabee from Purdue, if you're going to go away from Brown, I think Maccabee is well in play at 6,300. I also don't mind Deshaun Bishop. He might end up being a core play for me. Nolan Ray and Maccabee and Bishop are probably core plays for me. And then I'll tell you the other probably core play for me. But I like Deshaun Bishop. I'm buying into that. Buying into him being the one. I don't think Tennessee's going to want to rely on the arm of Joey Aguilar. And I don't like their weapons on the outside either. So I think they end up trying to run the heck out of the football against the Syracuse team. And you see Deshaun Bishop find the end zone. His partner in crime, I don't mind as well. If you want to take a shot that he's the 1B at 5K, Peyton Lewis. He's got some decent reports out on him. I don't mind playing him. I think you can get some shots there. They're projected to score a good amount of touchdowns. So, the hope would be is you get a couple touchdowns out of Bishop. Maybe you squeeze one out of Peyton Lewis, and then maybe Aguilar throws one, but I'm not trusting that. Richard Young. I do Fletch. I don't know that we're going to get to FanDuel. I'm playing that game through the run. He has to, if I like playing Underwood, I think they have MAC level wide receivers personally. I think there's just better plays. Underwood is priced decently, but I prefer Haynes playing that game through the run game. Probably play Jamal Haynes a lot. He's probably going to end up being a core play for me. And I think they take it really slow with Underwood and just trying to get his feet wet. Realistically, I think if Mikey Keene had been healthy, they'd probably prefer to start him early in the season and they're really going to protect Underwood very similarly to what they did with JJ McCarthy, would be my guess. Alabama-wise, Richard Young looks like he's going to get the start. At 5,800, I don't mind it. I don't mind taking shots there. I don't love it, but I will take some shots in that range. I prefer Devon Booth at that same price, though. All right. Tulane's going to run the heck out of the football. They run it 60%. A lot of people are going to fade Tulane. I don't think they think it's a muddied situation. I have faith that Maurice Turner, the Louisville transfer, is going to be the starter and see the most work. And I like that offense from a rush standpoint, given the quarterback situation and where they're at. Facing Northwestern, I've bet Tulane already. That number's been moving. I think Maurice Turner's a fine play at 5K. I definitely prefer him to Peyton Lewis um, at that same price, though. All right, my other core play at the running back position is going to be 6K Jay Ducker. So he plays for Temple, went to Sam Houston. He was at Memphis previously. I don't have a problem playing Jay Ducker. I think that there's plenty of outs for him here. He had an okay season last year. He played for Casey Keeler at Sam Houston. The volume was there. I like a 24 carry game, an 18 carry game. They should win this game against UMass. And with them winning the game, 24 carry game for Sam Houston there. With them winning the game and controlling it, I think he goes through the ground game. Casey Keeler brought him along. If he fails, I get the added bonus of getting to crap on Casey Keeler because I don't like him anyway, going back to his time at Delaware. So I like Jay Ducker, though. I'll play a lot of him as a core play. And then my last salary saving option, if you're going to take a shot in the dark, he's gotten hype. Joseph Hyman II, so of Northwestern. I think Cam Porter gets the most carries. I think he gets the start probably. But I like Hyman a good bit. They like Hyman. They've been talking him up. 3,800 is a good price tag. Cam Porter's sub 4 yards a carry guy. He's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I would prefer they get a little juice with Hyman over here. Maybe we get lucky. He projects fairly decently. I will take shots at 3,800. No problem there. I probably even prefer to take shots with him over Seth McGowan at this price. So looking at the wide receiver room, let's see. You got the two big boys at the top, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams. Good morning, Robert. I don't know that I love playing these guys on here. I think they're priced too highly. I might get to Ryan Williams if I'm going to throw a stack in for – if I'm going to stack up the big man, Ty Simpson. I don't love Jeremiah. I think they're going to bracket coverage him. Texas got a great defense. I think they bracket him and try to make Julian Sayin throw to different parts of the field, and they feel like they can match up one-on-one. It's not going to be easy, but I feel like they're going to make sure that they take Jeremiah out of this game. Ryan Williams, I don't mind, but I've kind of been on I think Ryan Wingo is just as good as those two, and I get him for $2,500 cheaper. So I don't mind playing Ryan Wingo. I will take shots there. He's got a great connection with Arch, worked together a lot, given they were both on the second team kind of last year. Wingo got his feet wet. And as I mentioned in the offseason previews and stuff like that, Wingo on a per-target basis was just as good as Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith last year. That sounds crazy, but the numbers bear that out. They just didn't get Wingo the ball. Give me Wingo at 6,500. We'll get to him on the other site where he's massively mispriced. Two of my top options at wide receiver, if I want to go up here in the top range, Easton Messer, I really like. He's going to get peppered with targets. I think he could hit the 100 catch threshold this season, aka he's going to get about 10 catches a game. He's a safety blanket for Veltkamp, comes over with Veltkamp. They played together at Western Kentucky. They've both played for Kitley before Kitley came over to FAU. It's just they're going to throw the ball a ton. I think he can push for double-digit catches. When you get a PPR website like this, that's a 10-point base before we ever even get going into the yardage category. Elijah Surratt, he's played ODU before. I just think this Old Dominion team's just going to get – Indiana's going to have it however they want, and I think they're going to want to show off their new weapon in Mendoza. Surratt, I like. I will play some Surratt. He's not a core necessarily for me, but I will have plenty of shots on him, given that I think he can go for 102 touchdowns. And then I think Messer's a great play as well. So let's look at Daryl Gill, 5,700. Like I said, I'll take shots on these Syracuse guys because I think they're going to chuck it a good bit. If you get 30 to 40 pass attempts, similar to the Kyle McCord teams, they turned over all of this receiving core basically. I don't mind taking shots on them. I'm just concerned a little bit. So I think you can have them. I prefer to stack them with Angeli if I'm going to do that. Similarly, Jonte Cook, he seems to be coming on strong. Justice Ross Simmons at 4,300 is not a bad play. But I'm going to take one or two shots at these guys and not go too crazy. Now, core play, I thought early in the week when I did the show, it would be Brennan Thompson at 5,200. Then news came out that Anthony Evans is going to start in the slot. So I'm going to end up with a lot of Anthony Evans. Evans is 5,800 playing for Mississippi State. Like I said, love the game environment of that Mississippi State game. The slot in this Jeff Lebby system gets peppered. So I'm going to lean into Evans. I'm going to take shots on him. He's definitely a core play for me at that position. And then I think you can take a few shots on Brennan Thompson. He is, an athletic freak. So I don't mind still taking shots there. I just prefer Evans over Thompson at this point. Griffin Wild, I don't mind at 5,200. He's probably the only, if not the best passing option for Northwestern, but that's a limited exposure play for me just because I think that game ends up being a ground and pound game with a lower scoring, and they're kind of milking clock on both ends. If I'm pairing up Malik Washington for Maryland, all of the camp buzz has been Jaleel Farouk. So Farouk is back, healthy, feeling good. It was a very good get for them to get Farouk from Oklahoma. He showed flashes plenty there. He was just banged up all of last year. If I'm pairing Malik Washington, it's with Jaleel Farouk. I'd be more than happy to play him. Let's hit on these. I don't know. Let's hit on these Alabama kids because the secondary guys. I've been making a ton of talk in the offseason. I think they're all overpriced, personally. Ryan Williams, I think, it gets better. But, I mean, Jeremy Bernard outperformed him at the end of last year. We had the big games for Ryan Williams, but Bernard outperformed him. You get Ty Simpson in there, I think I don't know what to do with Horton and Bernard. Horton was a good get to get them a third quality wide receiver. I don't know. I'm probably not playing them, those two. I'd probably prefer to play them through the run game and or stacking Ryan Williams just in the off chance that he blows up. Another guy that I want to stack with Mendoza is going to be Omar Cooper at 5,500 for Indiana. I think you take shots here for sure. I mean, he's going to be boom or bust, but if you look at his average yards per catch, it is insane. I think he averaged almost 20 a catch last year. Let's see. We can see 21 yards per reception last year. So big play machine. So that is a guy that I want to take some shots on. I wouldn't double stack him, but I don't mind taking Mendoza with Cooper, Mendoza with Surratt. I'll have some plays there, no doubt about it. Looking at the FAU guys. So I'm going to highlight those guys because that's a decision point where we're going to have to take some shots. So we talked about Messer. There's three other guys because they're going to spread this thing around. So the other guys are, to me, J.R. Wilson at 4,500. 6'4", comes from UVA, good player. He was a little banged up during the preseason. I still would like to take shots on him. Similarly, you got some cheap value options for FAU. Quincy Brown, 3K. I like that play as well. So Quincy Brown here. I think you could take shots on Quincy Brown. I have no issues with that. And then Jabari Smith at 3,300. I don't mind taking shots on either. So those are value options. No doubt about it. And then from the Texas side, this is where it gets interesting. So I like Wingo. I don't want to play DeAndre Moore at 4,500. I think that's probably a bridge too far for me to go. I would much prefer to take shots on Parker Livingston at 3,300. You get the roommate narrative there. He is Arch Manning's roommate. He's 6'4". He's a massive human being. He could be a red zone threat. So if I'm double stacking Arch, I might, even at 9K. I know I don't really want to play him, but I might take shots at Wingo and Livingstone with Arch. But it might be one-offs of Wingo, one-offs of Livingstone, and just kind of take some shots here and there. And then the last guy, I still need to get confirmation on this. I'm kind of waiting to see. Let me look him up. I got to get him in here. Oh, that's pain. So, oh, there he is. Okay. Braylon Brown. I don't know what the deal is here for Southern Miss. I need to find this out. I still haven't gotten clarification yet. But if he's 3K, I don't mind taking shots. I know some people are talking Elijah Metcalf. I need to find this out. At 3K, I'm willing to take chances on Braylon Brown. If I had to, I probably prefer Quincy Brown at FAU, just knowing how much they're going to throw the ball. But I'm not sure. So that's going to be something you're going to want to monitor. Keep an eye on that one. And Braylon Brown, if we get confirmation he's a starter, then I will want to play him a good bit and take shots. And he's going to be a guy that I will pair up with that Mississippi State stack or play it as a bring back somewhere. So let's look at FanDuel. These are going to be longer shows because of the sheer amount of games, but we're going to hit DK because they have most of the games. FanDuel does. Similarly, so let's look at quarterbacks. I will be playing some Chandler Morris. There is some very good pricing across the board on these things. I think Chandler Morris is a fine play given the Coastal Carolina can't play defense. UVA's got a nice team total at 35. I think they chuck it a little bit more. We saw Anthony Calandria get a ton of play here, running and passing. So I think you see Chandler Morris getting in there and doing well. Not a great value, but if you try to get some raw points out of him, I'll take a few shots here and there. There's definitely some better plays on this slate. Top option for me, Jaden Maeva. So I'm a big believer in Maeva. I've said it kind of all off season. He's my top raw projected player on this slate. 11-2, perfectly fine price tag to play. They play Missouri State. You know Lincoln Riley's going to run this thing up. They got a 48-point team total. He can run. He can pass. I think he puts a monster game on the board. I've been a buyer all offseason. He played great against Notre Dame last year. I know the 2 pick sixes, but he still threw for 300-plus yards on a team that was a national title defense, contending defense. Cade Klubnik, plenty in play for me. Year 3 in this system, great wide receivers. LSU defense, questionable, we'll say. Depending on what they do with that slot, if you listen to Cover Three's breakdown of that, Bud Elliott did a great job with his source getting information on that as far as what Clemson can do playing off of the slot, which means you might want to pair him with Antonio Williams. I'm personally a Bryant Wesco homer, and TJ Moore's just ridiculously priced. So you can play Klubnik plenty. Jaden Maeva, play them together if you want. There's plenty of room. Blake Shapen, 100% in the pool at 10-7. Similar to DK, you can get him playing, no problems there. Austin Simmons. So first game starting, he played really well in that little spot stint when Dart was out against Georgia in the rain. That was impressive. I like Simmons. Lane Kiffin, we know he's going to run the score up here. So I'm going to want pieces. Like, these are different situations for me where I don't want to play the Penn State guys. I don't want to play the Georgia guys. I don't really want to play the A&M, like Marcel Reed. I'm just not a Marcel Reed fan. I'm more than happy to go in Michigan pass offense. Not really. I'm more than happy to go with Ole Miss quarterbacks. I'm more than happy to go with USC. I'm more than happy with Maeva. I'm more than happy with Simmons, because those are coaches that I know are going to run the score up, and they're going to score at will because that's their MO. So they're going to be quarterback friendly, and they're going to score a ton of points. I will play a ton of Austin Simmons. I'm going to play a ton of Jaden Maeva. I'm going to play a lot of Cade Klubnik because I just have to. I love playing Clemson for some reason. And then Blake Shapen, no problem. Throw him in there. Bryson Barnes, great play. You give me a Bronco Mendenhall quarterback. Look at what Devin Dampier was doing in the Mountain West last year. UTEP's not putting up a fight. I'll take Bryson Barnes. I believe he's the pig farmer. At 10K, sure. Like, I'll play him all day long. No problem whatsoever. So that's where the meat of my entries are going to be: Maeva, Simmons, Barnes, Shapen. Those four are going to be my core four. I will play a good amount of Klubnik, and I'm going to play a good amount of, I'm going to play a good amount of Klubnik. He's probably going to be my fifth guy. And then I'll play some sprinkles of Chandler Morris, Ty Simpson at 9,200. No problem getting there. Maybe I'll play one game stack of Clemson LSU in hopes that maybe that shoots out. Take Nussmeier, take Klubnik, play them together. Maybe I'll play one of those. Arch at 9K, I don't mind. I might play. He's mobile. Ty Simpson, 92, maybe. I'll take a shot here or there. But I'm going to prefer to stay in that 11-2 at Maeva, down to that 10 at Barnes, and all five of them are my sweet spot. So I'm going to play a ton of them. Running back wise, I'm kind of avoiding Le'Veon Moss in addition to, so the top three are avoids for me. They could certainly be guys that end up biting me in the butt, but I'm looking for upside, and I don't know that they necessarily have it. Nate Frazier's still struggling to hold on the ball. Nick Singleton, we know he's going to be on and off the field with Katron Allen, and they're not going to want to hurt either one of them when Nevada probably can't score a touchdown. Le'Veon Moss, coming off an injury, he hasn't played more than 8 games in a season. Ruben Owens back healthy. Amari Daniels is back. Three-headed monster. Plus, they're probably going to blow the UTSA out. I think Moss gets a little bit of a here and there play, but I don't think I'm going to lean into that. Top option at the high end for me, Justice Haynes, coming over from Alabama to Michigan. Michigan likes to run the ball. They're going to protect their freshman quarterback. I think Haynes finds the box. I don't mind. Their defense is probably a little bit worse. New Mexico is awful. It was the worst defense in the country last year. I don't see that changing. They're going to run right through them. They're not going to need to put pressure on Underwood right out the gate. Why have him take hits? Just get him fresh, get him loose, get him feeling a little bit like he's in the game. Easy win. I like Justice Haynes a good bit. He's my favorite at the top end of the board here. if you really want to take shots on Katron Allen, you can. It's just one of those situations where Singleton steals touchdowns and you're screwed. Drew Aller throws for 3, you're screwed. I think there's a better chance that they come out of the box, Michigan does, and just runs the heck out of the football, and Justice Haynes is the one benefiting from it. Wayman Jordan, FCS transfer coming in. He took this RB1 role. I do not mind taking shots here. I would prefer to not. So I'll probably be playing them through my Ava. Maybe have 1 or 2. He's in the pool, but not necessarily my favorite. Devon Booth. So similarly, like we talked about on DK, 8,700. I don't mind taking shots here. He's perfectly fine play. I have no issue taking that shot and playing him there. Javin Jacobs, I'm not super interested in. I prefer to play them through the pass game. Deshaun Bishop, once again, against Syracuse. I think Tennessee runs the heck out of the football. He's one of my top options at 8,300. I like this play. I like it more than the projections. That's no problem for me. Richard Young, again, fine option at 8K. In my pool, he'll be mixed and matched a little bit. Caden Durham, I like him. I really like him. I think with the other guys in the room, we finally got rid of the nonsense that was John Emery. We finally got rid of Josh Williams. He's gone. This is Durham's room for right now until the freshman gets going. So I like Durham in this spot. He can catch. He can run the football. He gives you that dual threat capability. 7,800, firmly in play for me. More than happy to have some shares of him. No issues whatsoever. I'm probably avoiding Yassine Willis. I think he's going to get a little bit of hype, but everybody sees LaQuint Allen's usage, but this isn't LaQuint Allen, and it's not the same offense, and they're playing a tough defense. So I'm probably a fade there, but maybe I'll have a shotter here or there just to be safe. Adam Randall. So I like this play. How he does as a running back is questionable. He was a wide receiver. He bulked up to 230. He's playing running back now. He's going to be very good in space, making defenders miss. So he's a very similar play to Caden Durham. 7,200. I think you can take some shots here. I have no issues taking shots there. Wisner at 71, very similarly. From a projection standpoint, he projects very well. He's one of the better mid-range options. So I have no issues taking shots on Wisner while they get Baxter back healthy. Dante Dowdle is a decision point for me. I'm not certain where I want to be with that. Very similar to DK. Think he's in play. You're going to want to take some shots. He's just not a guarantee play for me. But I think you do want to take shots given I think Kentucky's going to need to run the football against Toledo. Moving down. All right. This is the elephant in the room. Well, we skipped Jordan Marshall from Michigan. He's going to be the backup to Haynes. Probably gets some run. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'll need to think about that one a little bit more. But playing the backup running back from Michigan, we've seen 2 guys be successful. They've had a 2-headed monster for years. I think the feature back is definitely Haynes because they paid a lot of money to get him. So we'll see. But I think you can take shots on Jordan Marshall. I just prefer to go to Haynes because there's plenty of money out here right now. Keywan Lacey. This is a decision point. He's the best value on the slate at running back. The question is, how much does Logan Diggs play? How much does Darius Taylor play? Is it Darius Taylor? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, how much does the kid that came from Troy Taylor play? So I don't know. I'm not playing Logan Diggs. I think he's probably finished. Not buying into that. What's it? Damian Taylor. Sorry to Damian Taylor. Haven't played him in a while. Keywan Lacey, talented kid. If I know he's starting, I want to take a lot of shots. If I don't know, I'm going to take a few shots. I just don't know how confident I want to be in it. I sure as heck am not playing Logan Diggs. If I got word that Taylor's going to start, then maybe I would take shots on Taylor. But again, me and Lane Kiffin running backs, bad history. Ulysses Bentley against Florida. He just stood on the sideline and Lane decided he was going to play a 5'8" running back for the whole game, and they lost, and that they missed the playoff because Lane was too stupid to play Ulysses Bentley. I love Lane Kiffin, but I'm still hurt. So I'll probably take a shot here or there, but I want to play Austin Simmons more likely. Jamari Taylor, starting running back at Virginia, another good value option at 6,100. Think you can take shots there as well. He's probably as low as I want to go, barring we get information on who the starter for Ole Miss is. Because if Damian Taylor's the starter, I'll take 5,400 Damian Taylor, no problem. So looking at wide receivers, like I said, there's value all over the place on this slate. It's insane. The fact that Trevor Pena is 10-2 and priced above 9,700 and 9,500, I don't know what we're doing. So just X him out. Just act like he doesn't exist. I don't mind playing Ryan Williams. If I'm taking shots on Jeremiah Smith, it's on Fanduel because he's likely to catch a touchdown. I like playing Ryan Williams. Don't mind it. I'll play him. They're the top 2 raw projected players by a good, healthy margin. But I'm going to skip down for a second, and then I'm going to come back. Do you know who the third projected wide receiver is for me? He's all the way down here. Why is Ryan Wingo 6K and those other 2 are 97 and 95? What are we doing? I'll play Ryan Wingo at 6K. Sure. Like, lock him in. I'd rather play him over those 2. So if you want to play 2 top-end running backs, go right ahead. You want to play all the top quarterbacks, go right ahead. I'll play 6K Ryan Wingo. I got some 5K guys we're going to get to that should be in the 7s. But I'll take 6K Ryan Wingo. I'd rather play that. Like, that's 2.5x for me. So I mean, that's ridiculous. On point per dollar standpoint, Ryan Wingo at 6K, it makes it so there's zero reason you even need to think about playing another Texas wide receiver. You just slap Ryan Wingo in there. There's no point in playing Livingstone. There's no point in playing DeAndre Moore. You just play the top guy. It's Ryan Wingo. Play him. 6K. All day long. I'll have a ton of Ryan Wingo. Back at the top of the board here. Mekhi Lemon, more of a possession receiver. I will prefer him on DK if they're on the late slate. I have not looked at the Saturday late slate on DK yet. I'll probably prefer him there. But I still like him. If you want to take shots on him, go right ahead. Not my favorite play. I probably prefer his teammate down here, Jacoby Lane. Lane caught a bunch of touchdowns. If you've watched the USC preview I did, Lane, good touchdown wideout. I don't mind going there. 8K, no problems. I think he can catch 1-2 touchdowns. Good touchdown receiver. Let's look at that actually. I'm fairly certain he caught like 4 touchdowns in the last. So yeah, caught 7 touchdowns over the final 3 games last year. That's when Maeva played. So yes, please. Let's play Jacoby Lane. His projection's a little light compared to what I think of him. So I'm bumping him up. DeJon Stribling at Ole Miss and Caden Lee. That's your 1-2 punch. So Trey Harris, gone. The other top 2 guys, my guy Juice Wells, gone. He should have stayed at James Madison. Career kind of went downhill after that, except for that 1 year at South Carolina. Stribling comes over from Oklahoma State. He's definitely in that Trey Harris mold. I don't mind taking shots there. I probably prefer Caden Lee. From a safety standpoint, he should be the number 1 targeted player. I'll take shots there. No problem at all. 8,900, sure. I'll take shots on that. Pair Austin Simmons with one of them at least. No issues there. Devontae Ross at 9K. That's just absurd. The Penn State pricing is out of this world. Ted Hurst, that's fine in Sun Belt play, but not against Ole Miss. No, thank you. All right, moving on down. Trell Harris, if I'm playing Chandler Morris, Trell Harris is going to get peppered with targets. He's been hampered with an injury. Check on his status. If he's a go, 100% a go, not an Eric Singleton go, then yes, we'll play plenty of Trell Harris at 8,500. With him, without him, he's a decent play at that price point. Antonio Williams, good play at 8,200. He's the guy who may end up benefiting most from the way that Clemson wants to attack LSU. If they end up playing out of that slot, that's where Williams operates. He's a great play at 8,200. You can play him all day. You can play him stacked with Klubnik, not stacked with Klubnik. He will be featured in a number of teams for me. Yeah, he's one of the top projected guys for me. Jacoby Lane, like I said, touchdown guy. Fanduel touchdowns matter. Aaron Anderson, there is some information floating around in my world. Full transparency, I live in Louisiana now. There's some scuttlebutt, we'll say, that Anderson's banged up. That wide receiver room is deep. I'm not playing Aaron Anderson at 7,800. I'm a little worried that he might be limited, and that's a very deep room. So I'm kind of out there. I'm not really going to go there. I have another guy that I'm willing to take shots on for LSU, and it's not Aaron Anderson. Horton and Bernard, I'm not in on FanDuel here. I'd prefer to just go to Ryan Williams on this one specifically because the price is close enough. Harrison Wallace, no. Penn State transfer, he's not good. I'm not touching that. So that's the one guy I definitely don't want to play on Ole Miss for sure. Bryant Wesco, 7,200. I will play. That's more because I'm heavily invested in Brian Wesco. I very like him. So I very much so like him. So yeah, you want to play him, go right ahead. Realistically, you should probably go to Antonio Williams over Wesco or go down to TJ Moore, but we're going to get to him. But I like Wesco a lot, so I'll inevitably going to take a shot or two here or there. Barry and Brown, that's a little much for me. I don't know what his role is going to end up being in this LSU offense. He's a very good kick returner, but I probably am a void at 7K. You could do it. I'm just not necessarily wanting to go there. Nick Anderson, man, if he gets healthy, that would be one heck of a player, but I'm not going there either. Jonte Cook at 61, you can go there. I probably prefer Darryl Gill, in my opinion. Carnell Tate, if they lock up Jeremiah Smith, maybe Tate, typically that's what happened last year, right? If they focused all their attention on Jeremiah Smith, then Tate and Egbuka had good games. If they focused on Egbuka, it was Tate and Jeremiah Smith. He's fine. If you wanted to take shots, go ahead. I'm just, I'll leave him in my pool. I'm going to take a shot here or there. It's just, he's a good value option, but not necessarily a core guy as much as Wingo would be for me. Looking down the board. Like I said, guys, there's guys all the way down. There we go. There's my guy. Chris Hilton. So if you're taking shots or you want to play the LSU pass offense, I'm playing Chris Hilton. I don't think I just don't see how you don't do Chris Hilton over the other guys. Now he's become a bowl game merchant where he dominates in bowl games, 4 for 113 and 1. The previous year dominated as well. Had a really good game against Oklahoma. Barely played the rest of the season. Had a fight with Brian Kelly. But if anybody's going to step up and be the one on this team and be a dominant force, it's Chris Hilton. So I will take shots aplenty on Chris Hilton. No issue whatsoever. He's a core play for me, a limited one, but a core play nonetheless. Daryl Gill, that's the guy I'm taking from Syracuse. If I'm going to take shots, 5,500, no problem going there. Now we're getting into I'm going to end up having to look for people. Anthony Evans, top wide out for me on Mississippi State, 5,400. I mean, God, that's what I'm saying, guys. You could come down in this area and just rip guys. One last guy that I'm going to hit. I'm not hitting Braylon Brown of Southern Miss at 4,400, but he is an option. I'm not even going to go try to find him. TJ Moore, 5,300. I mean, how's he 5,300? Last time we saw him, he had 9 for 116 and 1 against Texas. Now he gets LSU. Okay. I think his floor is in this 9 range, you know. I mean, maybe he's in this, maybe he has a 3 for 38 game. I don't know. But the upside at this price tag can be paid off with 2 catches, 39 yards, and 1 touchdown. I'm getting 2x. I'll take 2x out of a $5,300 guy, you know, and I have the upside to get 4x out of him. So I just don't see how you don't go there. So basically, we're going to be stacking a lot and trying to get into some of these games where I think big totals, big points. There's a lot of cheap value wide receivers. And like I said, you can throw together just about anything. It's wide open out here. It's open season because of the running backs that I like. You can get to these top end guys very easily. You know, let's just say here, let's throw one. I'll throw one team together just for giggles to look at. So let's go Caden Lee, because I do like that game. Shoot, we can go, heck, I'll even go Antonio Williams. And then give me Chris Hilton as the bring back. There we go. Okay, quarterback wise, let's just stack this thing out. Give me Cade Klubnik and Austin Simmons. Now I got 7,900 for running backs. Boom, boom, boom. Well, that's easy. I tell you what, just give me Justice Haynes, 9K. Oh, I've clicked off Haynes. Here, give me 90. Oh yeah. I don't really want to go Lacey with this team. Well, we don't have USC, so let's just say, well, we don't have any Mississippi State either. Let's go to Vaughn Booth, and I'll just take Wisner. Why not? Let's just take Quintravian Wisner. That way we get, this is like we got the big games in here. So like look how easy this is to build though. You could take Wisner out. You could play Dante Dowdle if you wanted. We know Wisner's going to be heavily involved in that game. And like I said, the front 7. So like this is just too easy to build, you know. You can drop Wisner down to Dowdle, and then you go to John Stribling. You can switch out Klubnik, or you can switch out Simmons. You could go Maeva here. Let's play with this a little bit because I'm actually kind of having fun with this. So let's say we're switching that out. Let's have some fun with this. I'll build one more team. So let's go with the 2 blowout quarterbacks. Give me Caden Lee. I'm going to go Jacoby Lane for the touchdown equity. Like I said, I like Hilton so much, so I'm probably just going to stick with Hilton as my option. Because, well, you know what? Let's do TJ Moore. He's cheaper. Let's do TJ Moore for the fun of it. Where is TJ Moore? 5,300. Oh, let's go TJ Moore. Why not? Oh, look, I've still got a ton of salary. Justice Haynes. And, well, you could go Keywan Lacey again, but no. I tell you what, let's not go Justice Haynes. Let's do, well, you got Maeva, so I don't want to do Waymon Jordan. Let's do Booth again. Why not? Oh, look, I can take Adam Randall. I can take Wisner. I can take Eugene Willis, which I don't love. Where's you know what? Let's do this. Let's take Deshaun Bishop. Oh, look, I get Caden Durham. Like, that's what I'm saying. You can get Deshaun Bishop, Caden Durham, Caden Lee, Jacoby. Like, this is a lineup that 6 weeks from now, you would be 30,000 over salary basically because Bishop's going to be, it could be 9, 10K. Durham could be 9K. Lane 10K, 9,500, 10K for Lee. He could be 9K. Like you could have 10. This is 10K salary savings because it's week one. Same thing with like a Keywan Lacey. If you wanted to go there, you could swap out there. Like there's so many iterations and fun things you can do with this. So good luck to everybody in week one. Hopefully, uh, one of you guys takes down the either the main tournament on DK for 100K or the main tournament on Fanduel for 20K. I wish that one was bigger, but what are you going to do? I'm happy with the 100K to shoot for, but I'm taking some shots there, and maybe we could take something down. Good luck, everybody. Goodbye.